Hey guys, welcome to the Goodfellow Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Barone. We have a really good surprise for you guys today, so just hang in there. I'm just going to mention a couple of things here. Don't forget about my Patreon channel. Tune in on that. We got a lot of movie reviews because a lot of people have requested that, so we have that on the Patreon. If you like us, please subscribe. That helps me to keep bringing some more stories to you. Give us a thumbs up. And don't forget, we got the Goodfellow shop with cups, shirts, and all kinds of stuff that we're going to be promoting even bigger. And I'm going to be wearing soon, as soon as they get my size. And don't forget, do have a segment of Ask Joe. So ask me anything about my personal life or the wise guy life or anything like that. I'll be happy to answer it if I could. Anyway, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Gene Borrello. Take it away.
Guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the Goodfellow Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Barone, and we have a special and a privilege to bring Gene Borrello right here on our show today. Gene, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, man? Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, same here. I'm just going to put my glasses on because this is our first meeting. I always want somebody to see my face and my eyes, and I respect Gene, and so that's what I do. But now, in order to see him, I got to put the glasses on. So I know you have been in the life. Exactly, you're really you're younger than me. I'm like 20 years older than you.
Right.
So obviously there's some different changes and stuff going on there. But I know we know the same kind of people, we've been around the same thing. What I wanted to ask you was well, tell us a little bit for the viewers how you grew up, where you grew up, because you were in that real area. So I don't want to speak for you.
Okay. Yeah. So I was born in Brooklyn, Canarsie, and 84th to Flatlands. That's where my whole father's side was from. All my dad's side was from Brooklyn, Canarsie area, and I was born over there. But by the age of like 7, 8 years old, my mom and dad separated, and we went to Ozone Park, Queens, and then Howard Beach, Queens, and that's where I grew up. I grew up in the heart of should we say, the organized crime fucking heart of the organized crime, right? People don't understand that neighborhood, how bad it was. But yeah, so I grew up in the heart of the four. Well, we have 4 bosses out of the 5 living in Howard Beach. It was like crazy, you know what I'm saying? You punched the wrong kid, you're getting thrown in a trunk if you related to somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you didn't know unless they told you who they was.
Bro,
I
it's
know.
so crazy because like when people learn about that neighborhood, they're like, oh my God, it's beautiful. But like, listen, it's beautiful, but what's inside that neighborhood, it's not a regular $1 million neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's really the craziest neighborhood growing up. You know what I mean? Because it's like you have so many wise guys, captains, bosses in one neighborhood, and you have to really watch what you do when you're in that fucking neighborhood coming up. You know?
Well, that's the difference between you. Now I'm from Westchester, so they were around, but not like you. You had
Right.
that was like the breeding ground. You know what I mean?
You walk
Yeah.
outside. You walk outside. There's 20 bookmakers, 30 loan sharks. Fucking every block got a captain, a wise guy. They don't understand it. People, they think it's like
I
made
know.
up. It's like every block that you go on, a wise guy, a skipper, an acting boss. This guy, associate, is just crazy. That neighborhood. Yeah.
That's why I try to tell people they don't seem to understand. We almost have no choice on what we're gonna go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Our education was the street.
Yes, and I
The,
agree with you. You know, and especially like the newer generation, like right now, it's all washed up. But like I was the last hurrah, so I was coming up in the late '90s, early 2000s, where it was still like you wanted to be that. You know what I
yes.
mean? We didn't have
Yes.
cell phones; just came out. We weren't sitting on video games. We were in the street constantly. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it was almost to the point where that was still our culture. Like in your era, you played stickball outside. You beat
Yeah.
people. You know, that was our culture still. It's so much different now. So when we were coming up,
Mhm.
we were still seeing you guys. So we would
Right.
see you guys still. You know what I'm saying? So we still
Yeah.
had that era, and then we wanted to be like you guys, and that's how I got caught up. You know?
That's this is what I try to tell the people, and that's why I'm not even going to ask you. Like one of the questions I was going to ask for the viewers was, "How did you get started?" I mean, you just
Yo,
walked out your
great.
front door.
No, now it's not like that. But like I said, Howard Beach, we were so bad when we were younger. If your license didn't say you were from the neighborhood, you couldn't come into the park. They wouldn't let you in
Yes.
207 Park.
Right.
Vicar Muso's son was checking fucking IDs at the park. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, you know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So it's like, this neighborhood was so locked down. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. In the 90s, in the 80s, real estate people couldn't even sell to homes unless it
Wow.
was to people that they wanted them sold to.
Keeps the neighborhood the right
You
way.
get what I'm saying? And if you
Yeah,
didn't do what they want,
100%.
then your real estate office would look like a bomb hit it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's just,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But
that's just the truth. You know?
I was actually with Vic Amuso. I did a little time with him when he was at MCC fighting his case back then.
Okay, yeah. And like I said, he lived in Howard Beach. John Gotti lived in Howard Beach. Joe
Mm.
Messina lived in Howard Beach. I mean, this is all one neighborhood. People don't understand that, you know?
I was actually when I went away in the '90s, and I was just that was the first big pinch I ever took. Some of the guys, there was the guy called the General, and another guy.
Jimmy the General?
I think it was Jimmy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I forget. They just called. That's how I just remembered him.
yeah,
Even when I met Vic Amuso, I was with this guy Mikey Shays, when we got shipped from Otisville to MCC. I had a superseding indictment.
right,
Vic was waiting online with a couple of the guys, and I said hello to him because he was in Otisville for like a month or something like that, and we
right.
hung out and talked all the time.
Yeah,
So I go into the cell with Mikey Shays, and he goes, "You never believe he get rid of you like that." I went, because I didn't know who he was.
yeah. He
Then
was. You know what's funny about Vic though, because he doesn't look very intimidating. He's actually,
no,
he looks harmless, but he actually
yeah,
was a. He wasn't a. He was like a John Gotti, like he had you killed. You know what I'm saying? He
yes,
wasn't killing people himself, but he'll have you killed in a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
That's
I
the
didn't know
other
how many
guy.
bodies.
Yeah, the gas pipe was just a psychopath. He was killing people with his own hands. He was just a sick
But the
person.
but you and I both know that since we were both kind of, because you were an associate, I was associate. You were doing actually a lot more work than I was doing. But the guy that was supposed to kill Gas Pipe, that was a real fuck up. I mean, that was. I'm like, really, bro? The guy's eating ice cream. You can't get him.
Yeah,
Really?
not only that, it's like, you got to make sure a guy like that is dead. You have, like,
Yes.
like, I would make sure, like, this man, I would have to watch him. I would do anything I do to make sure he's gone because this man has 30 something murders.
Yeah.
He's going to start a war. You
Yep.
have to kill this man if you're going to kill him. Like, you
No
just,
doubt.
you just left a serial killer alive. You know
A
what I'm
hundred
saying?
percent. Well, he tortured the guy. He found the guy. He tortured him to death. So you knew what he was like,
Yeah.
and he
And think
acted
about,
like
Jay, think about the guys he had around him, bro. He had
yeah.
the fucking the setup. He had these fucking Gemini Lounge nut jobs around him too for a
Yes,
while.
that's right. Oh, and also Dominic was supposed to join us. I know we're good friends with Dominick Cicale. I apologize for not having him on. He called me like about an hour before the show. He's so busy doing his thing, and I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "You
Ah,
and
that's all
I
right.
will get."
I've done.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
we'll get
Okay.
together
Yeah.
because I
It's all
think
right.
I'm gonna go. I think he wants us one day. Maybe we're gonna all get together again too. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. 100%. Are you
But
out? What state are you in? Where are you at?
I'm in.
I mean, we're in Florida. I say, yeah.
Yeah, so you're about 7 hour drive maybe
Yeah.
for me. That's it.
hmm
Yeah, so
Yeah. Me
that's a
and
good
Dominic
thing.
are right next to each other. We're 40 minutes from each other.
That's a
Yeah.
good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we were talking a little bit just before the show about Barney. Now, I was around the Genovese family. My
Yeah.
father was with Barney. Like I said, I grew up with Ralphie Coppola, who later on he got whacked too. Uh, Supposedly he was skimming or something. I don't really know the whole story, but I was around those guys too. Now, you had mentioned that Barney wanted you dead. I don't understand that.
Yeah, he wanted my head on his stick. So what happened was, I'll break it down. What happened? So
Yeah.
when Ronnie G. Alonso got put in prison in 2006, I went to jail
Mm.
in 2006 as well.
Okay.
So when I came home in 2010, they told me to report to Vinny Asaro. So I was now answering to this fucking Raven lunatic who I knew since I'm a kid and got
Hmm.
along with him very well.
Hmm.
And I'm doing things for him now until Ronnie comes home. So I'm with Vinny for about 3 years, and then which is a complete nightmare, by the way. And
Wow.
yeah, nightmare. And I
Yeah.
got along with him well, but anyone knows him, he's a psychopath. So
I heard.
yeah, fucking raving lunatic. So what
Hmm.
happened was his niece Judy, who's Ronnie's sister, was that's like his daughter basically.
Hmm.
And this guy named Angelo Giuseppe was at the school picking up his kids, where Judy picks up his kids, and they got into an altercation. And he called her a fat cunt,
Oh, okay.
and in front of everybody. Now he didn't know that's Vinny Asaro's niece, Ronnie G's sister, Jerry Asaro's fucking cousin. The whole structure is related to Judy.
Like you were
So,
saying earlier, you don't know who's who.
but we don't know that Angel Giuseppe's uncle is someone that you're gonna know, Conrad.
Oh yeah, okay, I know the name. Yeah, okay,
Conrad. He's a
yeah,
captain under Barney.
Yep.
We found that when Vinny found that out
Never.
afterwards, Vinny still who Vinny is. Vinny don't give a fuck about who you related to. You disrespected his
No.
niece now. So they gave me an order to go to his house and Billy Club him. So I did that. Except the whole thing was is that when I did it, I couldn't get him. I guess he was told not to leave because I guess they kind of found out who Judy was, and I couldn't get
Oh,
him. Right. So I
makes
couldn't get
sense.
him.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'll tell you how I did get him. So that's what became the whole nightmare. So
Ah.
I was told, get him when he comes out the house. I sat on him for 2 days.
Wow.
2 days I sat by his house. I was sleeping in the back seat of I had the big Mercedes truck. I was sleeping in the trunk, waiting for him every day. So yeah,
I
that's how
love
sick.
that. That's great.
Yeah, that's how he's
Tommy
doing.
Karate used to do that too.
So what happens was I got so frustrated. Cable guys were going in his house to do cable.
Okay.
I went in
Oh,
with the cable guys,
that was
but
perfect.
the mother was there. I beat him
Oh.
in front of the mother.
Aye.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
I
that's
beat him with the baton. I broke his hand, everything. I got him good, and
mm,
come to find out, that's one of Barney's captains, and then they wanted to retaliate on me. And Barney called me a walking time bomb at a meeting. He said, "What is this
wow.
kid, a fucking walking time bomb?" He says, "All right," and they wanted to get me handled, and then Vinny had to go and meet with them and explain why this happened and how you can't be
Yeah.
mad. Look what he did, and they understood, but they said that I was wrong for going in the house in front of the mother,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
also busted his car up when I left. So it was like a whole, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's what happened, and then they wanted my head on a stick. Barney, my name was in Barney's mouth, and everyone's like,
Wow.
"That's not good." Yeah, that's not
Wow.
good. And I was only
No.
26. I was 27 years old at the time. I was known to the neighborhood as a lunatic. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
like, he says, "Dude, is this kid just a fucking walking time bomb?" Like, go deal with this kid. Like, basically, you know.
Because in a lot of ways, even like I know you know how to handle yourself before you got around these guys. That's like I was too, Dominic. We all was. That's why I gravitate to us, like because I like that in a way because I could understand it and I can respect it. You know what I mean? Like we don't
Right.
take shit. That's what I like. I just something happens, we got to do it. We do it.
Well,
Um,
and they don't understand that being around Vinny and Ronnie, these guys, they believe in violence. You could get with a crew that don't believe in violence, and you'll never bust
that's
a
right.
grape. You won't bust a grape. I
No.
happen to be around a crew that, he's a murderer. Ronnie's a vicious, violent fuck.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, we handle things in violence, and that's what separated us from other crews because they weren't
Yeah.
doing violence no more in that era. We were, and that's what put
And,
us on the radar. You know,
and you want to know something? That's 100% correct. But a lot of times, the violence, without the violence, what the hell are you?
you got
What you
nothing.
you got not? Yeah. I mean, you got.
So, a lot of these guys live off like Ronnie One Arm, for instance, right? His
Mm,
son and that crew lived off him. They weren't busting a grape. They made millions of dollars, but Ronnie One Arm was a killer. But these guys
right.
weren't violent, but they all lived off, oh, that's Ronnie One Arm's son. He's a killer.
Right.
That's how they got their fear. Our fear was we're coming to fucking bash your head in ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That
Yeah.
and that's the reason why when I used to go collect money, the guy said, "Look, Joe, I'm not afraid." I said, "Well, it doesn't matter. The results will still be the same. When you wake
Right.
up, tell the doctor you weren't afraid. He's going
Right.
to tell you should have been."
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's the
Right.
bottom line.
Right.
But
Yeah, 100%.
eh, as a matter of fact, you have that similar story because I think Sammy the Bull was actually telling a story about some guy. They had an argument over the phone. The guy went over to the guy's house and had a fight with him and arguing with him right in front of his wife. And then the guy, matter of fact, Sammy, I think saved the guy's life because he had to go to, it
I
was
know.
in
Yes. Yes.
the
Yeah, you
Colombo
told me.
cruise.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
He actually could have killed him if he wanted because of what he did. Yeah. So
yes,
I did wrong. Because they didn't tell me to go in the house and do all that. I improvised and
yeah,
did that because I couldn't get him for 2 days, and that's what the problem was when I went into the house and beat him up with the baton in front of his mom. That's what the problem was.
yeah. You were frustrated because we waited for guys all the time, and then
Yeah.
after a few hours, I was like, "Fuck this," you know what I
Two
mean?
days. Two
Yeah, 2 days.
days.
Well,
Two
Tommy
days.
Karate did the same thing. He used to wait in trees, garbage cans to
Yeah.
get you. He was
Yeah.
crazy, that dude.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Vinny
I know
talk.
that's why I mentioned his name because I figured you
Yeah.
would know that too.
Oh, fuck
So
yeah. That guy's a sicko.
and he could fight too. The guy
Yeah, he's a
used to
little guy though. You ever see him? He's like real little. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. Well, he
Yeah,
had to learn how to something
yeah.
because sooner or later, guys as tall as us. I don't know how tall you are, but
I'm
I'm
six
like,
two. Most Italians are little. I'm a
okay,
big guy. I'm a big Italian. Most Italians are short. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I'm only just shy of 6 foot, so you're bigger than me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now one of the other things is a lot of people think. they don't understand the life. Like you said, some guys can't bust a grape and some crews because they do it. But a lot of people still think that this life is all of that. Now,
No.
when I was a kid, I kind of sometimes I didn't like the wise guys, but then there was some of them that were really like they pretended like they were really good. Like even when I was with Dominick, he was like the perfect guy that I could talk to about anything. And that's hard to get somebody like that. Usually they don't want to know nothing. They just want to know where's the money coming, when's it coming, and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? But they glamorize it. They romanticize it. A lot of people.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, because they don't understand, because they're from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Until they're on the inside looking out, until they're on the inside and they realize what's going on. I say there's always the glamour, and then there's the dark side. The dark
Right.
side, like from my dark side, I knew when I became a full blown scumbag like them. And I'll be honest with you, when I knew I became one of them is when I lured my friend to me and shot him. So that's when I knew that I was one of them, because that's what
Okay.
that's what you do. So
Right.
when they put that gun in my hand, they says, "Well, you're gonna meet up with your friend. You're gonna shoot him because Chris Cagnata." I says, "Yeah, no problem." When I agreed to do that and I did it, that's when
Yeah.
I felt like I crossed over, and now I am one of them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I did the ultimate snake move. My friend trusted me,
Yep.
and and I
I
popped him.
get it. Well, that's like the Bath
That's
Avenue.
the
That's like
dark
all
side,
these
though.
guys. Yes.
But Joe, what I'm explaining. The glamour is the money, the cars, the
Yeah.
jewelry, all that stuff, and then everyone sees that and like, oh shit.
But they
Then,
forgot what you had to do to get it.
then the dark side. Oh, he shot his best friend. I
Mhm.
mean, he did this. He robbed this one. He stick ups. It's a lot.
You see another thing that I'm going to say this right on, even though this is our first meeting and everything. One of the oh, wait, can you hear? You lost a little volume there. Okay,
You
there you
there?
go. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What happened? It tilted a little bit.
So no, someone called the phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of there's a couple of things that I really liked about you besides the other stuff, knowing that we were in the same line of work or whatever you want to say it that way. Uh, is I like the way you took care of the bullies in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That to me is honorable. I also like the way you felt bad about shooting your friend.
Yeah.
That was because it. And I also like how you can differentiate. I also like what you did with Michael Francis when you got on uh, the thing with him, and you kind of like talked and everything, and you had a
Yeah.
nice rapport with him. So I said, this guy right here, he's got he's got the hands, he's got the this, he's got the that. I understand all of that, but I said you got a heart,
Right.
and you don't get that a lot of
No.
times, because once they go to the dark side, they never come back, and you
Right.
did, and that
Yeah,
to me
I
means
did.
a lot to me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
But
And I'm a good person. I'm just a hothead. When I get mad, I feel I have to handle. I ruined a lot of
yeah,
things. I ruined a lot of things. I'm still like that. You know what I mean? I just I try, but I switch. I'm a good
yeah,
person, but
yeah.
then once I get mad, that's it. I'm like,
Well,
who's that guy?
I seen the Joe Molino thing. I don't get involved in it, but I that's why I says he don't need me any input from me. Gene can take care of this all by himself. I says, you know,
Yeah.
but
Listen, I bump into those. Listen to me, Joe Molino, whatever, Snuff, these guys. Snuff has no business talking about us. I'll be honest
no,
with you. He was never in the life. He was never a street guy.
that's right.
That's why I get mad. If Joey wants to say things, I'll go back and forth with him. But Snuff, like, you're barking up
Yeah,
the wrong tree. You know?
exactly. I agree with that as well too. And also, like I said, that's why I was going to ask you, like, what regrets do you have, more or less, like at least one regret about this whole thing? I don't know if it was cooperating me. I have a lot of regrets too, and I live with them. My whole life is different now after that life. You know what I mean? I can't fly off the handle as much because what happens is I get into a fight at the gas station or something. Guess who gets arrested? Me. I got to go
Yeah.
do another bit. Now I got to go
Right.
back to the box because I did 15 months in the box. I got to go back to the box because of my history now. So it's like it sucks. It's almost like I'd like
I
to almost have
I
the
did
that's
a, I
why
did a lot. I did a lot of solitary confinement time, and that'll definitely
I know.
change you. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
that solitary shit is no joke, man. You know?
Those walls kept closing in, and I was with Vinny
Yeah.
Gorgeous, and I would get out just to go see him and just to talk to somebody I knew in the
Yeah.
library, even though we were still apart, because he was
Yeah.
in the hole too, and
Yeah.
he was still pretty tough though in that box. he
Nah,
didn't change much.
he was a gangster. He was a gangster.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? It is what it
he
is. You know?
wait, he goes like he had a problem with one of the CEOs over there, and I'll tell you the quick story. I guess they had some words or whatever. So now the CEO catches him by himself, right? And wants to talk to him. Says, "Hey, Vinny, can I talk to you?" So he just, Vinny gives him the nod. What, like? And he says, man to man. He says, "No, we can't talk man to man because you got that blue shirt on. I don't consider you a man."
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That to me
Yeah.
is that's the right
Nah, he was a
answer,
gangster. He was a gangster. Listen, this guy, I don't ever shit on nobody. I give him
No,
credit where credit's due. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I never did that.
exactly.
I never took nobody's credit from them. You know?
No. So now what are you doing after this? Like we're making money. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
so
I do
hard.
keep. Yeah. I do the book. I have a best-selling book. You know, that was big for me. You know, I'm huge on
Good,
social media, the podcast, TV shows. I'm working out. I'm doing a lot of big sports betting, gambling legitimately. I was doing
good.
selling bit. I sell high-end watches. I do a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, good. As long as you keep him busy and keeping out of
Yeah.
trouble, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Absolutely. Yeah.
a guy like you don't belong in jail anymore. You did enough time.
13
You
years
know,
is good for me. Yeah.
yeah, come on, bro. I mean, and you
Yeah.
got a life. Are you still with your
Yeah.
girlfriend too?
No, not right now. No, bad thing
Oh,
happened. So I've been separated for a month. So it sucks. Yeah.
yeah, I know. And this is
Yeah.
and that's the short time when you start really feeling it all. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It sucks. Yeah.
Eh, I wish you best over there too. And
Thank
now,
you.
what's the name of your book?
Born in Life.
Born in a Life. So let's make sure
Yeah.
we I'm gonna on my future podcast. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna mention your book if that's okay.
Yeah,
People could buy it or
absolutely. Thank
whatever.
you. New York
Okay,
Times
yeah.
bestseller, man. 20,000 copies, which is really hard to sell a
Holy
book.
shit, good for you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
probably do something hopefully like that too. Dominic and I are
Yeah.
trying to work on things. So
Yeah.
we're doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
Cool,
yeah.
man.
So now, okay, what else was I gonna ask you? Well, so any regrets really at all?
So, no, I really don't have any regrets. I mean, the
Good.
regrets I did have was hurting my friends, you know,
Mm,
things like that. But other than that, I had no regrets. You know, there were other bad guys who were hurting, but there was some things I did that was some snake shit that I regret. You know what I mean? And that
me
I
too.
live with
Yep. Me,
regrets. You know?
yeah, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, me as well. So we're basically almost the same, except you're better looking. You got 20 years better on me, which is good. Listen, I definitely gonna have all the money on you if the fight ever does transpire.
Hey, that'd be great, man. If I
Yeah,
won, that would be crazy, man. If we went
yeah,
got in there and happened.
absolutely. Oh my
Roy
God, if
Jones
you do
agreed
that,
to, yeah, Roy Jones agreed to train me, man. That's crazy, you know?
and I like Roy Jones too because he was a good
Yeah,
fighter too. Yeah,
fucking
and
great fighter. Yeah,
oh my God, yeah, you kidding?
yeah,
I love those guys back in the
hell
days.
yeah.
Anyways, I know you're pressed for time and everything, but I can't thank you enough for gracing us on the Goodfellow podcast on my show. I
Yeah,
wish you all the best. And if you ever need anything, please get in contact with us. And anything comes
yes.
up, and I could put any material, anything on my show, believe me, I'm all for it.
Thank you, bro. It was a pleasure. I'll come on again,
Yeah,
100%.
my pleasure too. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, Dean. You have a
All right, dude.
good day. All right.
All right, bro.